Go live. We're almost there. And we're there. We're live. So we're going to give people a couple minutes to get in. Once it gets to 4, 5, 6 viewers consistently, I'll do an intro. But people have been waiting. I'm getting messages like, when does this thing start?
It's awesome. I'm going to load it up just so I can see the chat.
Yep. And Vault members, as you get in here, tag the people that you know you want to see this. A lot of people ask if they can invite other people. So tag. And then Vault members, there's a link in the Vault to get on this Zoom and participate at the end. We'll leave a couple minutes for questions. And you're going to want to ask questions because once you see, I'm going to say these people because Justin's wife is also Michelle. This is Justin here, and Michelle is a magician in I'm just going to show you guys. It's insane. So here's why Justin and hopefully soon to be Michelle will be on here is because we've all seen a social proof screenshot of blurred out names. And I did that forever. It's easy. It's like, it's so easy, you know? But now everybody has a freaking same, you know, a testimonial page a mile long. And I did not know how to do it different. I just hoped that I'd have so much social proof that it would push people over. And then Justin, you and Michelle came into the network. And the first thing you do when you come into the network is you have a call with Jeff. And Jeff is so good at like discovering what you do and articulating it. And so after you talk to Jeff, right, I get a phone call from Jeff. And he's like, holy shit, dude. Have you seen what Michelle can do? I said, no, because I haven't seen it yet. And he's like, they should charge $50,000 just for that one spreadsheet alone. And he's going on and I'm like, what have they done that Jeff hasn't seen? And, you know, we started talking and you offered to show me and you know, so now you do our social proof and just so everybody knows, we haven't baked it in fully yet. And I'm going to share with you real quick what they have done for me. And I'm also going to tell you right now, before we really get into it, that Justin Demers is on here.
I'm multitasking.
Yeah, that guy's okay. So before we get into it, they have 100 spots. They just there was some vacillation, right? Do we want to do this program? Do we not? And then me and the 30-something people in the network saw it and said, like, the world needs this. Nobody ever taught us this. How, like, it's insane. And right now you got socialproofclub.com.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you're taking 100, the first 100 people at some ridiculous lifetime price, right? They get all the updates and everything.
Yep, everything.
Awesome. So
get those 100 people, incredible results, love on them, and just have a group of people who are leveraging an unfair advantage.
Yeah, and it's an unfair advantage. I'm going to show you why. So go to socialproofclub.com. It's like $600 or something. But watch this first because I want you to understand what you're about to get. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm just going to kind of brag on what I see. And then I'm going to let Justin get into the nuances of all this stuff.
By the way, I just saw Michelle hopped on. We have 2 kiddos. One of our kiddos just got called home sick from school, so she had to go run and grab him. Hopefully she'll hop on, but I just saw that she's in the chat.
Awesome. So here's I didn't know what to expect. You guys basically reached out and said, hey, give me the names of your clients, yada yada yada. And so I gave you the names, filled out some stuff, and that's what I got back. Okay, is this sheet right here. And if you are in, I'm just peeking at the group. If you're in the group and you can see this, let me know. Justin, you can see it?
Yep. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. And so here is first thing I see is just this sheet full of stuff, right? And as I started working through it, I actually had to get on a phone and figure out like, hey guys, how do I use this, right? And I'm going to make this super short and sweet. You have the client here, Sarah Tempty just posted another testimonial of her like hanging out in Hawaii. I love it. Bradley Grinnin, you know, you can sort by client. Tobin and Martina, they're great. And like, cool. But guys, how do I use this, right? Like what do I do? Do I just make another testimonial page and put like all these things up? And long story short, we had a conversation and they started breaking down for me like, look, here's short form, here's a full story, here's snippets. So you can use them in different platforms at different points in the journey, whether, you know, it could be prospects, it could also be clients, it could be a retention thing, right? Where we're meeting them where they're at. And there's modality. So we have audio, animation, video. I know I'm going quick and I'll break this down for you guys because I just want to get through this. Audio, video, the client name. Here's the assets, right? So like an animation might look like this. So that goes, you know, Instagram. I've even put these on YouTube before. And so all that's really, really cool, right? We have all these different assets and different ways to use them. And this is where the magic is for me. Based on like my funnel, for example, I can have people self-select. I'm drowning in client fulfillment. I've reached my income ceiling, or I'm just starting out. And typically, most of us just use the same social proof. Like we just have one social proof wall. Like, here you go. Find the person in this mess that matches your current situation. And by being a little intentional, I can now go to like a filter here. And I can say, you know what? I want to talk specifically to pain address. So I want to talk specifically to people that maybe their business structure is a mess, or they're feeling overwhelmed, or they're burnt out, or they're physically or mentally absent from life. And I click on it, and here are all the pieces of social proof I have that address that pain. Alternatively, I could get off the phone with somebody or hear a series of objections, and I can go to objection busted. And if they told me I could set up my own systems, right? I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure that this is the social proof they get following that conversation, because this is Sarah saying, I thought I could set up my own systems, but I can't. Bradley's saying it, and Tobin and Martina saying it, right? And so, or dream addressed, you know, I really wish I had control of my own business. And all that's to say that this sheet right here, I can build follow-up sequences that address the appropriate pain, address the appropriate dream, or for me, object or bust the appropriate objection. That's the big thing for me, is the objection buster. And I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. I'm so excited now. I'm trying to find more ways to use it. Right now, I'm just so excited to build follow-up sequences based on behavior now. And as that sheet gets populated, I just like my funnel, my sequence, my follow-up, it just gets more and more and more effective. And I'm getting better and better at talking specifically to each prospect as they come through. And we all know how it is, right? If you can articulate the story somebody's telling themselves better than they can articulate it, like, you win. And so not only are we doing that and always working on that, I can now show them 4 or 5 or 6 people that were exactly where they were and are now where they want to be. And it's just, there's this huge thing. It's like, not only am I empathetic, like I get you, but this client gets you, and this client gets you, and this client gets you. And this is where they're at now. And so I wanted to show everybody that before I let you jam, because it's one of the most impressive things I've seen. And I mean, we talk about the course. I'm really excited. We just launched a course, really excited to build all of that now, just because of all the social proof. I don't have to, it's no longer just me talking to people, right? I can say, here's a story, and let's listen to Sarah.
You're just propping your clients up. It's a fundamentally different conversation, right?
Yep. And that's also very much the whole positioning of this group, Preeminence Unleashed, the network, is really what can we do together? And that conversation is a very, very powerful conversation to the right people. And it kind of turns off everybody else in a way that they just, nope, that's not me. It's awesome. So,
it's funny. So I just, so that system is all Michelle, by the way. Like, she is a systems expert, and it's exactly what you said, as far as like, let people self-select. Like, don't assume that they're going to scroll through your 50-meter long testimonial page to convince themselves that you have the solution to their problem. Like, just make it easy on them. And like, stage one is let them self-select, right? And then share the appropriate story of someone like them who we talk about it in the Social Proof Club as like the fear of going first. It's a huge fear. It's the reason why people go to a dance club or a dance party. If no one's dancing, nobody dances. But if a bunch of people are dancing, you go up and you dance. That's like a normal thing that happens. And that's the exact same thing of someone signing up for your program, or if you're a service provider or buying something on Amazon, like, if there's no reviews, you don't want to be the guinea pig. And so, but the other thing is true is, even if there are people who have gone first, if they're not like you, we're really good at convincing ourselves that we're not going to see those same results. Because if they're not like us, they had an unfair advantage, they had a better support team, they had more money, they were born with a unique disposition, as you talk about, that I don't have. And it's like, I'm like, as a human, I'm really good at being like, this is scary, I don't want to do it. And so, like, the whole approach to social proof that we take is like, it's the gift of going second. Like, you give your prospects the gift of going second.
That's good.
Like, it's a gift by putting your clients up and celebrating them. Like, you're giving everyone else on the sidelines this opportunity to say like, hey, I'm like Sarah. Sarah did this thing. I can do that thing. Nick, let's talk. And that's exactly what happened, right? That's how she got into the system.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm trying to. I think it was her social proof that got you guys in to network, right?
It was a conversation. It's exactly right. I mean, we've known Sarah collectively for months, but it was like, hey, Sarah, what's going on here? And so how can you take that? We like to call it like the neighbor over the fence conversation, where you're like, hey, Bob, nice to see you over there. Like, how do you take that level of experience, but turn it into something that's online that doesn't require you, hawking your wares all the time? It's more of just like referrals in a way that are authentic at scale. It's funny. I'm just going to see if I can share my screen. I don't know if it's going to let me, but so we've been doing some interesting things as well on that front. So this is Sarah's entire conversation in a word cloud. So you talk about the power of words, and you talk about the idea of like sharing stories. I mean, we talk about the idea of sharing stories at every step of your sales process. There's also the ability to just incorporate your client's words in your sales process, not as testimonials, just in the language that you use. And so what are the commonalities between all the system clients is like, we're literally starting to see that. Like, the words that they use there are commonalities between everyone that we have conversations for the system. And so now you, Nick, have this unfair advantage of saying like, which word do I choose to describe what we do? We don't have to make that up anymore. You have facts. You have like, these are the words that your clients are using to describe what you do, and their pains that they were in, their frustrations with their lives, their dreams and their goals and aspirations. It's incredibly powerful to have this type of asset for your business.
Yeah, there's no like, I'm really looking forward to because we're rebranding. I'm looking forward to it because I have this language and I have these testimonials, and there's some questions here. If you're a Vault member, hop on and we can ask. We can get to them after. Maybe we'll get to them live. But I love give your prospects the gift of going second. And there's another thing you do that I want to. Basically, when I bring people on, I try to share the things that make me go like, holy shit, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? Or why have I never heard that before? And we all want this grand, right? Because we like this, we want it to be this grandiose, like, look how successful we make people, or look how happy we make people, or look at how great the pictures we take are, or whatever, right? And it creates this gap. And one of the things you said is like, you have to get testimonials, and your process does this, right? Where you get a testimonial at week 1, maybe at week 2, at week 3. So when maybe I'm joining a program that's going to give me my first client, and I've never had a client before, and I go and I just see testimonials of like, I did $100,000 this month. Like that's not what I want right now. I want one client.
Yep.
And so capturing each of these, and it's in my spreadsheet, right? It's like milestones. So you can have social proof for 0 to 1 and from 1 to 100. And, and that was such like a profound thing that I just like, duh. But I'm the same way. Before that, I'm looking for like, I've added $1 million to my bottom line and like sweet, throw that up. That doesn't speak to even 40-50% of the people in the network. That wouldn't speak to them.
Yeah.
And it's such a brilliant concept.
We refer to it as just like the next step. So I don't know what happened or like when this came into being, but the concept of like taking a screenshot and as you just said, right, $1 million, and then using that on your like opt-in or your webinar lander or like any of the earlier steps. For a lot of people, that's so far out of the realm, right? And the fear of going first kicks in again. It's like, oh yeah, again, that person had a massive thing that I don't have, whatever, trust fund. Anyways, the idea is we just want them to take the next step. So if they're on your lead magnet, cool. They're on that page, we want them to opt in. After they opt in, we just want them to consume that content. After they consume that content, what's the next step of your sales process, right? And so how do you actually leverage effective social proof for that? Well, you don't wait to the end of the process to capture it with your clients because they're so far removed from that first step. If they're doing $1 million a month or $1 million a year, whatever, they don't remember what it was like to first opt into your freebie and read it and consume it and feel like, oh my gosh, somebody knows me. Like this person could help me succeed in life. And so if you bake in social proof gathering at every single step of the client, the client sales process and the onboarding and the fulfillment, well, then you have social proof for every single step that just moves people through your funnel in a very natural way, where they're hearing stories of people like them who are literally just one step ahead. I opted into this freebie. I usually I expect spam emails after spam emails after spam emails, and eventually there's going to be like a pitch. I didn't get any of that. Like I just got incredible value from Nic's profit multipliers. Like I've never seen this much free value in a freebie. That's it. All it's going to do is just get people into your profit multipliers. I'm not talking about how the profit multipliers made $1 million for them. It's just it just showed that was valuable information that you were extending in your freebie, for example. So we talk about it in the actual fulfillment as well. And here's like a little, I don't want to say hack because I hate that word, but it's like, if you bake in social proof gathering into your fulfillment, guess what it does? It reaffirms the belief that they made the right decision, which is really hard when you're writing a check for $10,000. The next day feels miserable. You're like, I'm $10,000 less in my bank account. And so it's how do you quickly get someone a win so that they verbalize it, they share it, whatever it is based on your program, so that they reaffirm in their mind, like, wait a minute, I made the right decision. And then 2, guess what that does? Creates momentum. Client success rate. If you want high client success rate and actual more social proof, guess what? You just gather it at every single stage because it just keeps momentum building to the point where in their head, they're just like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. They get through your program, they have a massive win. And so it's not, we talk about social proof as not just like a client acquisition strategy. It's literally like a client success strategy across the entire system of your company.
Yeah. I'm going to add another component because with that, there's a consistency bias, right? They say, hey, look, I'm doing it. And then they have to be consistent with that because they said it out loud, especially because they said it out loud. But there's another component.
Even more if they verbalize it in a group or a public setting.
Yep. They refer people, and then the consistency bias, like now they really have to take care of their own business because they just referred other people. But there's another component. I'm going to share it because you just sent me a piece of social proof from one of our clients, Sarah. And I said, oh, this is freaking awesome. Like this, I want to get back on the phone and help her more. And so I put it in our team channel and I said, hey team, watch this. Right. For me, it's easier to market. It's easier to sell because of that belief component. And it gives energy because, our team, like they're going to see that and go, oh, Sarah took a vacation and I just, boom, I'm re-energized. I'm ready to keep serving. Cause especially when you're marketing, selling, or you have a service business and you're not getting constant feedback, there's always that, like, what am I doing? Am I helping people? Like, is this program good? Am I doing? And so I think there's also an internal component for me and my business where I share all of that inside of our Asana.
Yeah.
I'm like, Brian, look what you did for Sarah. I know he gets fired up about it.
Yeah. It's massive for morale. Like the whole thing we help people build is that never ending. So like literally you're just like inundated with client results. And it's a fundamentally different thing when your business is like you're celebrating your clients winning versus just you winning, right? Like it's a different thing altogether. Everyone out there is just celebrating them winning, right? Look how much money is in my bank account. It's like you want to speak to, and then they're all sitting there like, why is my webinar converting at 1%? Mm-hmm. And that's why, because all you're doing is talking to the smallest group of people. Usually it's like, the hierarchy of needs, it's like money. Was that 1 or 2? And like, so all you're doing is talking to the smallest percentage of people. And so start talking at vacations, family, free time, freedom. Stories of that are a fundamentally different thing, and they light up your team just as much as they light up your prospects.
Yeah, there's another, and I'm just saying the same thing in different ways, right? There's this, sometimes we don't know. We maybe we know what we're selling, but we don't know what they're buying, which is why I love the little word map you did, because they're using language that maybe I wouldn't, maybe I am selling them the fact they'll make more money. But like Sarah, and she stuck in my head because I just saw that testimonial, is like, she just took a vacation and she's like, no stress. I got to hang out with my husband. Not worried about fulfillment. And like, if that's what they're buying, then I need to know that. I need to speak to that. I need to give my salespeople this spreadsheet, and they're going to sell better, and it's going to be more congruent. It's just like this component is missing from internet marketing, but it's not. I don't think. Where were you doing this before?
So my background is in film. So I've been doing like case study and testimonial videos for, chances are you have a phone in your pocket from either of the companies that we've done them for. And so like that's my background, is like, how do you tell effective stories that drive action, inspire action and drive conversions basically. And so I'm fascinated by storytelling. I'm fascinated by its potential to actually like make meaningful change in people's lives. And then Michelle's background is systems and client success. And so it's a combination of like, how do you actually tell a compelling story? And so like Sarah in particular, we can talk about it, is like the conversations that we have. And I think there was a question earlier from Kevin about like social proof manually. I think it's a little bit different, but like the conversations that you have, how you frame them, we don't like to call, like, we don't say interviews. So when we're saying like, we're going to gather a story, like we don't say, hey, can you hop on an interview, or can you give us a testimonial? It's like, we want to have a conversation, and we bake in conversation loops into the entire client journey. The idea is, how do we actually have something that feels like, hey, Nick, let's go grab a coffee and we'll talk. Like that's literally the goal with these conversations. Fundamentally different than, hey, let's go, I'm going to interview you because I want to extract something from you so that I can use it to sell my business. And people can feel that. And so that came from me in film. It's like, I've interviewed hundreds of people, and it's a fundamental shift when you approach it like a conversation versus an interview. It's like one of the ways that we used to talk about it in film, but it's the exact same thing. It's like, this is a human-to-human interaction. When you have human-to-human interactions, you get responses like Sarah's, which is like the real thing, not like some fake, I'm going to give Nick what he wants to hear. No, I'm going to share something with Nick that he needs to hear. It's very different.
Yeah. And it's one, I love to do this in the vault because we don't bring on a lot of internet marketers. That stuff, it's pretty cookie. Like you go online and you learn the same stuff from all the same people, but we bring in people that have had success with different industries, and you've done, I mean, you've worked for or owned or been partner in multi-million-dollar companies, right?
Yep.
And I just want to give these people listening now that maybe don't appreciate this as much. Like I appreciate stories. I sell exactly the same way. Like, you know how I sell, I just talk to people. I try to help them, but I still fell into this. My social proof was pushy. because I didn't know there was another way to do it. And so, but this is how big companies do it, right? Like they tell stories, they get you as part of their tribe. It's very it's magnetic. Like it pulls you in versus trying to push you over this line. And it's really, really cool. What are
on that front, like the other thing to keep in mind is my background is in film, in like very expensive, high production quality type work. And so like you would assume that like, okay, we're out there with like our professional cameras filming all these incredible stories, and there's a place for that. But everybody's advantage, like who's watching now, is that humans connect to stories that feel real. And this thing is a real device that we use daily. And so it's kind of like an unfair advantage now that we have the ability to have really, like Sarah's, it feels real. It feels honest. It's not perfect. It doesn't look right. The sound could be better if it was like wearing an actual like professional lapel microphone, blah, 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 all these excuses. But when you watch Sarah's stories, it feels real because it is real. And so like, even though my background is film, high end, yada, 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 like that doesn't matter. What matters is honesty, is authenticity in these stories. And then service providers and experts like you, Nick, leveraging them in the effective order and at the right time.
Yeah. So we talked about this, and it's an ongoing conversation about what the Social Proof Club is and what it's going to be. And there was like, cause Jeff's not, this sheet filled out is it's worth $50,000. I have no doubt about it. Right now, the socialproofclub.com, you go there, it's what, 500? What's the cost?
$597.
It's $597 for lifetime, which is absolutely obnoxious in the best way. Are you showing them how to capture social proof? Are you showing them how to build this Airtable? What's the main thing they're gonna come in and take away right now?
Sorry, I have a puppy who wants to enter. See him right there?
Yeah. Is that a husky?
It's a husky corgi mutt.
Oh man.
She's like, Pops, what's going on? So two things. One, when you join the Social Proof Club, you get access to our program, which is called the Social Proof Accelerator, which effectively shows you step-by-step how do you build the system in your business. So that's everything from how to incorporate legal, so you're actually legally protected when you're sharing stories. It shows you how to actually incorporate it into your client fulfillment. So at what stages are best for your business. It shows you the prompts. We don't refer to them as like interview questions. We refer to them as prompts. So like, how do you actually come up with prompts that elicit story-based responses? So, and it's not just like the don't ask questions that result in a yes or no answer. I mean, that's a given. It's more of like, how do I take this person back to their before in a way that's going to elicit a response that is extremely powerful and connect with someone who's in that state right now. It shows you how to actually like authentically get it from your clients without seeming like a sleazeball or like turning them into a sales agent. So in an authentic way. And it's the entire deployment strategy. So now that you've had this great conversation, how do you actually do what we did with the Airtable? Turn it into snippets, match it to objections, use it to create beliefs or break beliefs, depending on how it's being used. And then where should it go in your sales process? So that's the accelerator. You get access to that the moment you join, it's there. And then the actual thing that we're doing on a routine basis in the Social Proof Club is every single month we're diving into a specific sales vehicle or mechanism and showing you step-by-step how to take all this training and actually apply it to that. So if you sell via webinar, if you sell via app to sales call, if you sell on an online review site, like if Yelp or Google or Facebook reviews is a tool that you use, like how do you actually use those properly? So that's what we're doing on a monthly basis. And then there's like a Q&A, an expert interview, and a tech breakdown as part of on a monthly basis
awesome.
as well.
Awesome. So I got a few questions. One is totally self-serving, so I'm going to drop that first. I'm not even going to pretend. So if they enroll in Social Proof Club, even if they don't, doesn't really matter to me. Can we do? Because I'll ask you to do this for me. Sure. Where does it go in the sales process? Can we do that live so that your people and my people can both watch? Like, will you help figure now that we got We got the course ready to sell, the funnel built. Awesome. And then legal. There's two other things. One being legal, because I didn't know this until you and I were actually here in California and going through some stuff.
Yeah.
How many, especially with Facebook cracking down, Google's cracking, ad networks are cracking down. How many of, especially internet marketers, high ticket providers, how many of them are doing illegal stuff like right there in plain sight?
Most of them. I mean, anytime you're taking a screenshot that shows income and you're not including a disclaimer, you are technically not legally standing with that. And not a lawyer, full disclosure. Basically, you have two types of like disclaimers. One, just a testimonial disclaimer, results aren't typical. You see this all over the board, from Weight Watchers to influencers online to like whatever. Basically, results aren't typical. But the other thing that most people are not taking into account is the paid testimonial, which paid does not just need to be compensation. So if you are a course creator or you have a program, and as part of your program, you are saying, if you leave me a review or testimonial, I will unlock this bonus training. I will give you this free webinar. I will include this additional blah, blah, blah. If those have a value, which hopefully they do if you're trying to bribe someone with it, that is a paid endorsement. Yeah. That qualifies as a paid endorsement. And so that needs to be completely upfront. And so you're like, well, then how am I supposed to get testimonials? Well, that's what our system is for. You don't have to do that. You don't have to like keep content that could help your clients win more. You don't have to like gate that behind asking for a testimonial. You can just bake it into your process, share your client wins, and guess what? You're going to get 20 times of those, and you're not having to put the disclaimer that you've paid for those endorsements.
Yeah, and that's important. We're going to do more trainings in the vault on compliance, because if you do really want to like play, I don't like to say play big, play small. If you want to spend money on advertising and you want to make a lot of money and you don't want that all taken away and all your accounts frozen overnight, compliance is becoming more and more important. So if you want to own a real business that's going to support you and your family, then it's going to be a theme in this group in the vault over the next couple months. Because as we're growing, we're running into all kinds of stuff that we have to be very, very careful about, but it's awesome. It's because we're growing. And so, I mean,
it's like we talk about on our sales page, like you'll literally see our testimonial disclaimer. It's like, I want people before they go into our program to realize the results are not typical. Like you have to do the work. Like it shouldn't be easy. Like it shouldn't be an assumption, right at the bottom there. It's like boilerplate. If you want something like that, it's like termsly.io or termsly.com. Let me see if I can find the link.
This is a great sales page. I know the superstar that wrote this.
So it's just termly.io. You can get a boilerplate disclaimer like that. Like this is not about gatekeeping valuable things like that. It's like, just go get it. Protect yourself.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Anything else? Because we're going to go private and see if Vault members want to hop on and do some Q&A. I'll show you guys right now. If you're watching and you want to pop on, this is obviously the sales page. If you go right here into the Vault, right here on the homepage, there's a Zoom link to join us, and I'll see you come in, and I'll unmute you, and we can do some Q&A. But in the meantime, while we're here, anything, because I know it depends, right? If you have a webinar, if you have a low ticket course, high ticket this, longer sales cycle, what can people do? The non-Vault members that don't get to ask you personal questions or custom questions, what can everybody right here that's watching and sees this replay, what can they start doing immediately that will, even if it's like a plus sum thing, right? Just something you should start doing so that you have it.
Just bake it into your onboarding. Hey, new client, I just want to let you know that a big part of what we do and find fulfillment in is just celebrating our clients' wins. And so you're gonna see us throughout the entire time of us working together, sharing these stories, whether it's your Facebook group or your whatever you have where you're actually like incorporating this. And so we just want to let you know that like we're going to be talking to you all the time about all the transformations you're going to be having, and you're going to have a lot of them, and we can't wait to get started. So like that little like seed that you're planting in the beginning carries through the entire journey. So just start having that conversation early. Do not wait to the end. Do not wait until this client has a massive win where you reach out to them and you say, or worse, you screenshot it and you just post it. Like, don't do that, because that feels like you're turning their win into you, not them.
Yeah. And do you have I'm in your client group because I'm a client. Do you have a public group that all these people can go join and creep on? Or
we do. If you just search social proof strategies.
Social proof strategies.
Yeah.
You guys drop some of the well, Michelle mostly drops some of the best engaging group content that I've seen. And so if you're listening, if you can, most people catch this replay, drop into social proof strategies. Just say hi, say that you're from this group or whatever, and just pay attention and go buy the lifetime. So we're going to, anything else you want to say? Cause we're going to go dark. We got the legendary Alyssa Light joining us, and we'll go dark and we'll bring her on. And
cool. Awesome. Else? Thanks everybody for hopping on.
Awesome. So we're going to